And good morning and welcome to Touch Base Daily. My name is Ron Foss and I'm touching base with you as I do every day. Welcome to Tip Tuesday. And we have lots of tips. And the first one we're going to be doing at some point, well, I should say at the last half of our hour together, we'll be talking about how to take stunning apple picking and harvest outing photographs. It is that time of the year. I went apple picking this weekend and it was wonderful. And some of you will be going apple picking at some point over the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Pretty much apple picking began, I think it ends probably at the end of October here in the Northeast. Most of the harvest is out right now. People have been apple picking since the end of September, but we'll be talking about that at the end so you can get out there and take some great photos of your family, take pictures of the harvest, take pictures of apples, all that good stuff. I brought back a bag, a half bushel of apples. I don't know exactly what a bushel, how much that weighs and what the size of that is, but I know it was a lot of apples. I have lots of apples in my refrigerator. I wish I could just send them all out to everybody and just say, okay, here's an apple for you, here's an apple. But get out and do the apple thing. It's worth it. It's so much fun. Anyway, good morning, Hannah. Hannah's the first person in the building. And Rashawn is in the building. She gets the silver. She says, good morning, Ron and Touch Base Daily family. And who else is next? Good morning. She says to Hannah. Hannah, next person in is Chris. Chris says, good morning. And then we have the wonderful Aya. And then we have the wonderful G.R. Houston Jack. And Amparo's in the building. And Mr. Anthony Roland is in the building. Hey, look who's in the building today. His somewhere on the road somewhere, I guess, from his posh office space. Omar Ramos is in the building. And who else is in? The Girls Club is in the building. Good morning, everyone. Janet is in the building, my buddy, my palsy wowsy. Love you, Janet. Good morning. She says hi, everyone. That one's okay. There we go. And Kelly A is in the building. What's going on, Kelly A? Good morning, everyone. Cool, crisp morning. It is a beautiful morning in New York. This is my type of weather. But it's only going to be short-lived. It's supposed to get warm again this weekend, but I'll take it. Any day in the 70s or lower, I'm happy. I just don't like 80s and 90s. But this is great weather. This morning, it was 46 degrees. Some places got down to 42 and 41. Upstate New York got to in the 30s. And if you went up to Albany, they got some snow last night. So I don't think it's stuck. It's just Lake Placid and all that area. But yeah, snow in New York State. Yeah, I cannot wait. I cannot wait. Yes, it is Omar's birthday, y'all. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, my dear friend of 40 years. Happy birthday to you. And many more. It is Mr. Omar's birthday. I like that. You come and get yours. He said, I'm coming to get my birthday wishes. Omar said he's coming to get his birthday wishes. I love it. So I am now trying this today. I'm on the air with you all, trying my first sip of mushroom coffee. Okay. Let me let that sit down. Let me let that sit in. Elise is in the building. She says, good morning, Ron and everyone. Yes, my friends. It is Omar's birthday. He is the birthday boy today. He said, I'm coming in for my birthday. I know a lot of, it's interesting. I have two categories of friendships that are bundles. I have a lot of friends that are born in June and July, right? Well, let me scratch that. Let me take it even back. A lot of friends who are Tauruses, they're like in that May and June month. A lot of good friends. Then I have another batch of friends that are in October. I mean, a lot of friends born in October. I have 7 friends that have birthdays in this month, and they're not just acquaintances; they're good friends. So I have to say, I must be drawn to people in May and June, and drawn to people in October. I'm just wired. You ever look at patterns in your life and you say, why am I more towards this, or why do I like that more? Why am I drawn to that? Well, I'm super analytical, so I do that kind of stuff. And I realized that a lot of my friends are born in October. It's so weird, but it's true. Anyway, Anthony says I'm in the June bundle. Yeah, I have a big cluster of friends, May and June. But the next big cluster is definitely October. Virgos love other Virgos, as I love a lot of folks with August and September birthdays. This Miss G says. Miss G is drawn to the Virgo compadres. Omar says, thanks, everyone. Omar, congratulations on another year, sir. Every year we get is a blessing. And we are all here to celebrate with you. Okay. So, hey, D Tuggle's in the building. Did I say good morning I didn't say good morning to Mr. DT. Mr. DT is in the building. I love it. West Coast is in the building. East Coast is in the building. Central US is in the building. Southern Gulf states are in the building. And also obviously the Northeast is in the building. So here we are. So guys, I wanted to play a clip for you guys. And this was really cool because this goes along around what Miss G was saying yesterday. Gwendolyn gave us a little of her. She kind of like put that out into the world, even though she was not on live. We just simply put her phrasing, her words on the screen. And it goes something like this. Hold on a second. Let me get this here. Our friends on Morning Joe. I'm going to share that real quick. And John Helleman is a really dynamic and smart guy when it comes to politics and all that stuff. So listen to what he says. I thought it was quite fascinating. Let me pop that there, and here we go.
You had a second assassination attempt on Donald Trump. You have war breaking out in the Middle East. You have the Fed lowering interest rates for the first time in years. And I can name 10 other big things that have happened. She's still up by 3, supposedly in the national polls. And one of the most helpful things that's happened in the last couple of days, because of this panic in the Democratic Party, is that the Harris campaign finally allowed David Plouffe to go out and try to talk about the data on both Dan Pfeiffer's podcast on Pod Save America and New York Magazine yesterday. And I will tell you that David Plouffe is, he's a partisan and he fights for his team. But he is not a BSer. And if you read his assessment of the data, it is, I think, as clear, as both sophisticated and clear-eyed as anything anybody could say. And the two campaigns do not disagree about this. And what Plouffe basically says is, if you see a poll that has Harris up by 4 points, throw it in the trash. If you see a poll that has Trump up by 4 points, throw it in the trash. It's a tie race. This is uncomfortable for Democrats. It's a tie race. It's going to be a tie race all the way through to Election Day. It's going to be maybe the closest election of our lifetimes. Everyone is going to be scared if they care about the future of the country. But don't read these polls in this kind of insane way over the course of this period of time, because there's really been nothing to learn from them for about a month, and there's not going to be for another 3 weeks. The race was tied. The race is tied.
And these polls also shouldn't be trusted because they've been so wrong in recent cycles. And we have had pollsters acknowledge they're doing them in different ways, trying to oversample perhaps some Trump voters because they missed them in 2016. They missed them in 2020. They undercounted them. So now there's a theory among some anyway that maybe they're being overcounted. But certainly this race, to John's point, to Eugene's point, couldn't be much tighter. It's going to be one along the margins. We are.
And there you have it. Thank you, Gwendolyn, for bringing that to our attention. Yesterday, the polls, ugh, the polls. That is where we are. And polls are coming out every single day, all day, every day. And many have many. And I, so you know me, once someone says something, I start diving into things. And also, I was listening to some correspondence yesterday about some of these polls as well, because some of these polls, you can make a poll say whatever you want it to say. And on some of these polls, trying to paint, and I forgot how cynical, how sinister that some people can be, and especially when it comes to polls. And there's this also belief system that there's a group of, what do you want to call it, news people that are trying to set up a stage by their standard of putting black men in the news all the time about them not voting, and saying black men are not voting, black men are not voting, black men are not voting for Kamala, black men are not voting for Kamala, blah, yada, yada, yada. And so several of the commentators said that that's kind of like setting up the stage so that if Kamala doesn't win, that black men are the blame, also causing division within the black community. It was quite fascinating story yesterday. I think it was on Roland Martin. I heard these panelists discussion, and it made a lot of sense. And I said, you know what? They're right about this. This is all distraction. Thank you, Elise. She read my mind. Well, she and I had a little moment this weekend talking about it, and she says, all distraction. It's all a distraction. The news has nothing else to talk about. They do have a lot to talk about, but they refuse to talk about Trump. Can I say that? The news has a whole lot to talk about, but they refuse to talk about Trump. And think about it. You have the highest general makes a quote, a statement that his ex-boss is a fascist. He's an enemy to the country, that he is dangerous to this country. The highest general that served under Trump is quoted. And yet, in the years ago, that would be the news. That would be on front pages. That would be on the front page of every newspaper. That would, when you would say the top general, besides all the other people, Michael Pence, or all the other people that have served in his administration who are no longer supporting him but supporting Kamala, you would think all of that would be in the news. You would think that the news media would be interviewing those people and saying, could you please tell us why you're not voting for Trump? He used to be your boss. So the news has a lot to talk about, but they just refuse to talk about the right thing. And it's amazing. Same thing like they did with Joe's age. They ain't talking about Joe any longer. Age. Meanwhile, you have this person doesn't even know he's in Detroit, and he talks about Detroit because he doesn't even know he's in Detroit when he's speaking. Exactly, Elise. The news refuses to talk about 45. He can't conform a complete sentence or answer any questions. Even yesterday, he was just swagging on the stage. Didn't know where he was. The man is mentally defunct. The man is incompetent. The man is evil. He's a threat to our democracy. And you would think the news would be all over this story when your top general, the top general of the United States that served under Trump, says he is a fascist and he is not to ever be a president again. It goes to show you guys. Elise says this all the time, so I'm gonna give credit to Elise and Gwendolyn on these two. My brainchild, my brain arms over there. All this is distraction. The media is all about chasing the shiny objects. They pull out shiny objects to distract you. And so for all of us that are trying our best to use our platforms to rally behind Kamala Harris, because again, this is not about Democrats and Republicans. This is about democracy. And I know all those wonderful friends out there that think God sent Trump. Well, I got a Brooklyn Bridge to sell you. And it's not even my own. But I can make false papers and sell you the Brooklyn Bridge. The Brooklyn Bridge cannot be sold to anyone. People have tried to sell the Brooklyn Bridge. Can't be done. Democracy is on the line, says Mimi Hilton. Yes. She says, at this point, mainstream media is a joke. Don't get caught up in it. I'm with you on this one, too. I do respect the Weather Channel, though, because I'm a weather geek. I am a weather geek. I am that guy that has radar systems on my computer. Yes, I watch this, the next radar and satellite radar and all the other stuff. But guys, don't be deceived by the polls. Don't get distracted. Nothing. The Trump people are going to vote for him. It's a matter of who's going to get out and vote. And speaking of voting, I do believe today, Georgia, early voting begins in Georgia today. So get out and vote. Take your grandmama, take your auntie, take your cousins, take your children, take your neighbor. Go out and vote. Vote blue up and down the tickets. Take your family. Don't just wait to church on Sundays. Go today if you are in Georgia, because they are purging people in Georgia. They've purged people in Georgia. So you need to go out immediately to make sure you are on the rolls. Yes, folks. Get out, Georgia. Vote blue. Vote blue. Yes, Georgia. Go, go, go. Vote blue. Vote blue up and down the ticket. Up and down that ballot ticket. Blue, blue, blue. Anything that has an R on it. Do not vote for R's. Do not vote for Republicans. Yes, I'm telling you how to vote. I should say I'm suggesting. I am suggesting. Yes. Vote for your interests. Don't vote for your party. Vote for your country. Don't vote for your party. Vote for your children. Don't vote for your party as if you are in the Republicans' persuasion. Vote for humanity. Vote for our planet. Vote for education. Vote against Project 2025. Vote. So all you folks in Georgia, and there's a couple of other states out there that are now voting also, but Georgia just got, Georgia just plugged in today that they are now open for business, open to voting. No split, exactly, Mimi. No split ticket. Don't say, well, you know what? I don't agree with the Democrats, but you know what? I don't like Trump, so I'm going to vote against Trump. I'm going to put all the other Republicans in office. Do not do that. You know why? Because that's why America cannot grow. You can't not, if you vote against an opposite, if you vote for Kamala and then you vote for Republicans, you've defeated your purpose, because you'll have Kamala as president, but her hands will be tied. Remember Obama? All the folks that said Obama didn't do nothing for us. Obama didn't do nothing for us. Do you know why? Because he had a Senate that was a Republican Senate. Arms, hands tied. Split ticket doesn't accomplish anything. Just go in, for when we were raised in church. Don't be lukewarm. You're either hot or you're cold. Dive in and become all hot or all cold. Make sure you vote all blue. Up and down. Jazzy says, I'm voting blue. You should too. If you want progress, vote blue. I like Jazz. I know Jazzy. That you should be sending that one to the campaign. That's good. Yes, you cannot get anything accomplished with a split ticket. So just want you guys to know that. Just also want to make sure. Here's the tip of today. Main tip today, besides our lesson, is do not get distracted by the polls. The poll conversation that's all over the place. Not one poll is saying the right thing. Everything is in a poll. And remember, we all know, for those that are into politics, a poll means nothing other than what is happening at the moment. The snapshot is like taking a picture. It's just like clicking your camera, taking a picture at that moment. That's it. That's all a poll does. It's a snapshot in a particular time, a particular place, with a particular bunch of people. Polls are not who's winning. Polls are not who's losing. Don't be distracted. And let's not. I almost got distracted. I almost did. It's easy to become distracted. Let's not get, yes, we want our brothers we want our Black brothers and Spanish brothers to get out and vote for their interests. Don't vote against your interests. If Trump becomes president, which he will not, but if he was to, he would want one day of the purge. Do you know who's going to suffer? And my Hispanic brothers and sisters, they can't tell what country you come from when you're walking down the streets and they abduct you and put you in a concentration camp. Now, some folks say, that's so extreme. That can't happen in America. Trump already told you it's going to happen. He wants to round up 10 million people. He said it, not Ron, not Kamala, not the Democrats. Trump said he's going to round up 10 million immigrants, and now they're saying, and because according to Project 2025, they want to suspend the birthright. So just because you think you were born here and you say, oh, I'm safe, I was born here. No. Under Project 2025, you will not be safe. You will not be safe. How can they tell the difference between a regular, this sounds so stupid, right? A regular Black American versus a regular Haitian American, or Jamaican Black American, or a Nigerian Black American. Can you tell the difference by looking at us all? Can you tell the difference between a Cuban Hispanic person and a Panamanian Hispanic person and a Dominican? Can you tell the difference just by looking at them? Come on, y'all. Let's get some smarts in there. They say, smarten up, smarten up. Omar says, get your papers ready. Yeah. Do you want it to be like apartheid, where people have to walk around with their little books to prove that they're citizens, so they won't be pinned and put away or captured? Apartheid was not that long ago, y'all, in South Africa. Apartheid was not that long ago. Hello, apartheid wasn't that long ago in America. It was only less than 60 years ago. Black people could only drink from one water fountain, right? Black people they couldn't go to school with others. That wasn't long ago. It was literally just a half a century ago. A half a century. And if you don't think it can happen in America, can I go with the record player? It has already happened in America. Don't say it can't happen in America. It has already happened in America. And Trump said also this weekend past, the 1798, I think I got it right, 1798 Act, rounding up people. That's how they put Japanese people in concentration camps. That's how they put them all in concentration camps during World War II. Not only Japanese, but Italians and Germans. Just pick them up off the street, put them in concentration camps. It can't happen in America. Hello? It's already happened in America, and there's laws on the book to make it happen. We talked about that yesterday. If you missed it, go back to the replay. Hello? It can happen in America. Anthony Rowland says, I'm living proof. Whenever I travel out of the country, I'm always mistaken for a native. I've been Arab, St. Lucian, Brazilian, Mexican, and Haitian. I know that's right. That's right. It's hard to believe I used to have curly hair. And when I would be in school, they would say, are you a black Puerto Rican? I don't know why they would say Puerto Rican. I guess because some of my friends were Puerto Rican, but I didn't know why they thought I was a black Puerto Rican. They always thought I was a black Puerto Rican. I was like, wow. And if they didn't think I was a black Puerto Rican, then they thought I was Bayesian. And if they didn't think I was Bayesian, they thought I was Jamaican. Y'all, this is America. We can't say it can't happen here when it's already happened. We can't say it won't happen here. So guys, get out and vote. Make sure you go out and vote. Anthony says, Dana finds it so funny that I blend in everywhere. And I see here, Elise says, my husband has been mistaken for Ethiopian and Nigerian. Right? It can happen. So guys, we don't want to have people rounded up and put in concentration camps. And again, think about a country losing 10 million people. Do you think economically we are going to be a strong country with losing 10 million of our workforce? I know they're saying illegals. No, y'all, it's not just illegals. Yeah. Adrian says, I'm sorry I'm late. Hey, Adrian, welcome to the welcome to the room. Welcome to the community chat room. Let's see here. Let's see what's going on in YouTube. I always have to check in on the Instagram folks. Instagram folks are over there. If you're on Instagram, come on over to our YouTube channel. It's a better experience. It's a better experience, right? So guys, let's really, voting has started. Let's do voting. Let's get voting on the way. Okay, what time is it? Am I ready for my class? It's time. It's time. It's time to teach. It's time to teach. So before we go there, let me, well, first of all, let me ask a question. Let me ask a question before I start. How many of you have gone apple picking already, or harvest to the harvest event in your county or town or your area? How many of you have already gone apple picking? Like myself, I went this weekend. How many people are planning to go apple picking? So if you have gone apple picking or planning to go apple picking, put it in the chat. I'm curious before I move on. It'll help me with my lesson today. Warren says, my mother was born in the late 1930s with the and couldn't walk on the same side of the street with the greatest generation at times. Yes, right. Indeed, Warren. Yes, right. Oh, hello. Remember that? The Green Books, Anthony. That's a good movie also. If you did not see the movie The Green Book, it's really good. Mimi says, Mimi says, I've gone apple picking. Woo! That was, that's Adrian says that. Adrian says, me. See, Adrian, I didn't know you liked the apple pick, and you're in the same neighborhood. I should have invited you with my brother and I and his wife. I was just said, come on, let's go to New Paltz. We got one more seat in the car. Jazzy says, I'm allergic to apples. Really? I have never heard of an apple allergy. Holy moly, Jazzy. Wow. That's the beauty of community. You learn so much. I never heard of an apple allergy. I'm sure there's an allergy for everything. Yes, Adrian, you could have gone. You could have gone. I should have restopped, but I didn't know you liked apple picking. That's why these things are important. So how many other people are going apple picking? Anyone else? Is it not that many of you guys? Man, if you are not going apple picking, you are missing out. It is such fun. I've been doing apple picking for 40 years. 40 years I've been apple picking. And every year I have the time of my life. Oh, apples are so delicious and so good. Maybe you have to check and see if maybe it is a particular type of apple, because there's so many types of apples, species of apples. There's like 100 apple species or more. I think this computer. How many apple species are there? There are more than 7,500 known cultivars of apples. 7,500 different types of apples. Can you believe that? More than 7,500. Sorry, he said 75,000. 75,000 different species of apples. So maybe it was the type of apple, Jazzy. Oh, apples are so good. Apples. Okay, anyone else out there? Any other apple people? Any other apple lovers out there? Wow, we found out one of our community members is allergic to apples. Wow. Oh, really? There are no apples in Pekin? There are no apples in Texas? Just Pekin. Yeah, it's too hot now. It's too hot. But I would wonder, could there be apples in the northern part? I guess Texas is more of a wine type of state because it's so dry in the summers. Wow, I did not know that. Yeah, that's a lot of apples. A lot of apple species out there. Because there's apples almost on every continent except for, I think, Antarctica. There's apples all over South America. There's apples in North America. There's apples in China, the islands, Japanese, territories. You have I don't know. Are there apples in the Caribbean? I don't know that one. Oh, I love pecans. My grandparents had a pecan tree in the yard. They still do. Well, they're not alive any longer, but my uncle gets to enjoy the pecan tree that we have in our family yard in North Carolina. Oh, uh, gee, relax. Gigi sounds like she has a pitchfork. We ain't picking no apples, Ron. Yeah, Anthony said just grapes in the dry, arid climate. Empire says I used to go when my kids were little. Haven't been in a while, guys. And if you are in New York, if I may give you a suggestion, and you're in the New York City area, and you want to go up to New Paltz and go apple picking, you can take the bus outside of Port Authority, and it will take you straight to center of town off Main Street, and you'll be right there to do some apple picking in New Paltz, New York. Okay. Anyway, are you guys ready for class? Oh, let me get some advertisements out the way too. Let me do that as well. So let's go there. Let's go there. Okay. First up, again, I am learning to use my platform. I do event photography. So if you're interested in an event photographer, reach out to me. Reach out, slide into my DMs, and I am available to photograph your event. So tell your story, share your event story by hiring an event photographer like myself. So event photography, I am available. So you can do that. Also, since we are doing teaching right here today, if you're interested in being taught photography, you can sign up for my virtual classes, and we can go do one-on-one virtually. Photography, photograph your world, home, work, or play, virtual basic photography 101. Fun tutoring using camera models, creative instructions, and learning at your pace. Available in person tutoring in New York City. Okay. Also, a thank you for our sponsors. Our sponsors that support what we do here, and you can find that and this story and this lesson is on our Patreon page and our Patreon community. So if you're interested in joining the Patreon community, you may do so. All you have to do is go to our support Patreon page right there. You just get this off the screen, the banner, and you can see that right there. Hold on, let me get that. Yeah, there we go. So you can see at the bottom of the screen, it says support by joining my Patreon community, www.patreon.com, Ron Lewis Photos, and you can support by donating every month to what I do here online. If these classes that we do every Tuesday are meaningful to you, support it. Support what we do here. And because that's what we do. We support. We give back. We give back to our community. Okay, are you guys ready? Are you ready for class? Class is now in session. Okay, how to take stunning apple picking and harvest outing photographs. So it doesn't have to be just apples. If you live where grapes are, it's harvest time for grapes. If you are with the what do we call it, pumpkins and squash and all that stuff, it's harvest time there. And also if you're collecting and also getting the hay and everything together for the cows and everywhere, if you happen to live in those areas, it's harvest time across the country. Autumn is harvest time. So anyway, so this is just not for apples, but it will help you. Because a lot of us go out and participate in this stuff. So how to take stunning apple picking and harvest outing photographs. Here we go. Number one, plan your shoot. We've talked about this several times. Best time, early morning or late afternoon. During the golden hour, provides warm, soft lighting that enhances the natural beauty of the scene. And in this community, we all know what the golden hour is, right? That's the hour before the sun sets, or the hour or so after the sun rises. Okay, so dawn in the morning, sun rises, that first hour, that everything is beautiful and golden, or right before the sun is setting. Right there, an hour before the sun sets is the golden hour. Also, think about weather. Weather, overcast days can also work wonders as they diffuse the light evenly. We've talked about that in our community many times. Yes, weather. Cloudy days are the best days to take photos because you have less shadows, unless you want shadows. Okay, next. 2, gear up. Camera. Use a DSLR or mirrorless camera for a high quality shots, and smartphones can work too with a good camera app. We've talked about those apps. You have apps on your phone, you have editing apps on your phone, use them. Also, lenses. A wide angle lens captures the expanse of the orchards, while a macro lens is perfect for close-up shots for apples and other details. So, most of us on our smartphones, we have a wide angle lens, a macro lens, and a normal lens. Macro meaning zoom. So you have a zoom lens or a macro lens, and you have a wide angle lens. Use them accordingly to share your story. Also, accessories. A tripod ensures steady shots, especially in low light. Okay, so all those are professional photographers. Or if you are a smartphone, you can buy a tripod for your smartphone. That's real simple to carry in your bag. Number 3, composition techniques. Rule of thirds. We talked about that. Rule of thirds. Place the subject off center for a balance. Interesting photo, right? Don't try to center everything. There are very few good photos that are centered. The only thing that is centered are portraits or photos for important people. Like you want that person right in the center, or the tree in the center. There's a reason why you're having people or things in the center. But always go to the left, always go to the right, off center for a balance of and create interest. Leading lines. Use rows of apple trees to draw the viewer's eye into the scene. Here's another one. Foreground interest. Incorporate elements like baskets, fallen apples, or leaves to add depth. Like you see back here, you see the back of the tree, you see the apples here, you see a barrel there. You kind of like create a whole story. There's that row of apple trees. Look at that, all that. And then you got the basket bins and all that stuff, creating a story about what's going on. Framing. Use trees branches or foliage to frame your subject naturally. I always like that kind of stuff. Here's one. Number 4, capture the details. Focus on small details like the texture of apple skin, droplets of water, or the vibrant colors of the leaves. Here is another one. Get close to show the intricate patterns and unique characteristics of your subject. You know what's really beautiful? Try it sometime with your smartphone. Go out and after it rains, like you get a rain shower, go out and take pictures of leaves, especially in the autumn. You get to take pictures of all the lines and the veins of the leaves, and it's just beautiful to catch those close, detailed photos. Because guess what? Most people don't take detailed photos. They take general photos. So now your photos will be different. It will separate you from the pack. Okay? So get close. Show the intricate patterns and unique characteristics of your subject. Next, number 5. Experiment with angles. We always talk about that. Shoot from different perspectives. Low to the ground, at eye level, or above. So shoot from above. Get low on the ground, shoot upward, or get down and get even and shoot evenly. Whatever. Keep changing the angle. You may have one subject, but you can make it look different by changing the angle. Okay? Changing the angle. Okay, next. 6, use natural light. Backlighting can create a beautiful halo effect around apples and leaves, like having the sun in the background, kind of like coming in at a glow, like you see here. Next, side lighting brings out textures and adds depth to your photos, right? You get the beautiful glow of the sun, especially that morning glow or that evening glow. Remember the golden hours? And as that sun is coming at an angle, it makes all those textured lines look so beautiful. Also sets you up for a good black and white photo if you so are into black and white, right? Looking at that contrast of light and dark. Okay. Here's number 7. Number 7, last but not least. 7, post-processing tips. Adjust brightness, contrast, and saturation to enhance the natural colors. Use filters sparingly to maintain the authenticity of your shots, and crop and straighten your images to improve composition. So here's 3 things that are really important. One is everyone has in their editing tools the brightness, contrast, and saturation. It's always good to turn them up a little bit, especially if you shoot in RAW. If you shoot in RAW, then you definitely want to go in and bring up the brightness, the contrast, and the saturation. And you might want to add a little bit of vibrance in there. Also, every one of our cameras, we have filters built into our cameras. You can use any of those filters to give your picture a certain feel. Use your filters. Use them, but use them sparingly, because a lot of the filters, you can kind of adjust them. Or you can take the picture in its original form, but then do your edits and click on a filter and do it softly. Don't just go all in with that full filter. Go in and just adjust it with that little toolbar and just adjust it accordingly. Right? So use your filters. It's okay. It's okay. It's all a part of being a photographer. Okay, and also crop and straighten your images to improve composition. Guys, there's nothing worse than a picture that should be straight on, horizontal, straight line, and you see the horizontal line like that. You see the horizon bent like that. Unless you mean to do it. Don't do it, though, if you don't mean to do it, because if your horizon is off, I'll never forget when I first started taking photos, one of my friends said, "Ron, your horizon's off." And I was like, oh, I was like, oh man, this photo is hot. This photo is great. I got a great shot. He was like, your horizon is off. I was like, oh, never thought about the horizon. So guys, think about your horizons and also think about your buildings, vertical. Don't let your buildings be leaning over to the left, to the right. Make sure your verticals are lined up. That's why we use the grid lines. That's why we use the grid lines. Okay, guys, here we go. Here's some photos from apple picking harvest. It's that time of the year. Oh, I wish I lived near the Rockies. Look at those. Look at those. Look at those beautiful birch trees. Look at those golden leaves. Look at that. These are all stock photos, just so you know, that I could put together for this lesson. There you go. Look at that. So I encourage you to share your photos and experiences. Each shot is a unique story of your day in the orchard. I should say probably at the orchard, but in the orchard. Happy shootings, and let's celebrate the beauty of the harvest season. So guys, get out there and do some photography. Get out there and share your day out in the country, the mountains, the foliage, the colors of the leaves, the apples, the pumpkins. This is the time of year to get out, especially if you live in the Northeast, if you live in the Midwest, and you live in the Rockies. We all get beautiful autumns. Sorry, guys in the South. Sorry, guys. Palm trees in Florida don't make great autumn pictures, but there's a place for palm trees too, but not for autumn. Autumn, you got to go to this countryside. You need some maple trees. You need some oaks. You need some birch trees. Okay. Okay, guys. Thank you so much. What time is it? Do we have time for? Okay. We got time for one more thing. We got time for one more thing. On this apple picking day, and since we did ask how many of you go apple picking, but I do have a question for you. I do have a question before we leave. What is your favorite, drum roll please? We did candy already, but I am curious. What is your favorite autumn cookie? What is your favorite autumn cookie? Oh, I forgot to ask you guys. If you guys have any questions, you still can ask questions. You can still ask questions if you have any questions about that lesson. But how many of you, I should say, what is your favorite cookie for the autumn season? Are you one of those people that loves pumpkin everything? Like, you go to Trader Joe's and it's pumpkin pie, pumpkin cake, pumpkin seasoning, pumpkin, everything is pumpkin. Tell you, when the marketing people get to hold of something, they take it to the next level. But how many of you guys what's your favorite cookie during the autumn? Anyone? Any folks out there? Mimi says, hey, I'm not a pumpkin fan, says what's the girls club. I am not either. I'm not in the pumpkin and spice team, but I do love my favorite cookie, and it's pretty much all year round, is I love the biscuit, those little British biscuit cookies, like they call it shortbread cookies. I could eat through a shortbread cookies every day, all day, all seasons. But really in the autumn, I love me some shortbread cookies. Anyway, who else has a favorite cookie during this time of the year? I see beautiful. I see there pumpkin too. Really? Pumpkins too. Yes. Might be great with the full moon on Thursday. Yes. We do have a full moon on Thursday. We do have a full moon. It's called the harvest moon. The harvest moon is this Thursday. Let's see here. There are apple farms in Texas. I just looked. Northeast and southeast area and around Austin. I knew Texas had to have some apple trees somewhere, because y'all have some cooler temperatures in those areas. I mean, especially northern Texas. That's good to know. You can live in Texas and go apple picking, y'all. Okay, thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for looking that up. And girls club, you ain't say no more. It's all about the apple cider donuts. Woo! Okay, so no cookie lovers out there. Oh, there's one. Anthony says butter cookies. Butter cookies in the blue tin. Oh, yes. Remember those tin cans? Always around the holiday. The blue can with all those cookies. Different types with the sugars on them, without the sugars. Yes, the blue can cookies. We used to have those every fall. My mother used to get them. Yes. Oatmeal raisin. Okay, you're coming alive, y'all. You're coming alive. Rashawn says oatmeal raisin. Ooh. Rashawn, I could eat some oatmeal raisins. That was my cookie. That was one of my favorites. Oatmeal raisin. I remember I don't know who it was. Was it? I don't know who it was I was talking to. They said they did not like the oatmeal raisins. G says blue tin can that became a sewing kit. That's right. After you finish the cookies, then you had this. You put all your sewing stuff inside that can. Yes. Dr. Tachi says, Ron, I said peanut butter and also shortbread up above. Okay, thank you, Dr. Tachi. I missed it. Okay, so peanut butter and shortbread. Shortbread is literally my favorite in the fall. It's something about the Scottish shortbread cookies, or yeah, just love those Scottish shortbread cookies. But I love a good chewy oatmeal raisin cookie. What's this? Chessman by Petridge Farm. And Chessman. Oh, yes, the Chessman. Yes, I remember the Chessman. I remember the Chessman. And what else is out there? What else is out there? Family photos go in the tin as well, says Anthony. That's right. You put those photos in there. It's a great, those blue tin cans were great storage boxes, right? Adrian says chocolate chip cookies. I went through a chocolate chip phase, but it's not my all time. I do love chocolate chip cookies. Don't get me wrong, especially if they're gooey, mushy, and hot. However, I will say oatmeal cookies are my favorite. Oatmeal raisins. Oatmeal raisins are my favorite. Oh, goodness gracious. Who else is in here? Okay, I guess that's it. I guess we've exhausted this. Elise says, I love peanut butter and apples. I make a great oatmeal raisin cookie. Ooh. Now, why you had to go there, Elise? Why you had to go there? Oh, you got a couple of things going on at your house that I need to be a part of. Elise says peanut butter and apples. Now you know what? I used to always have the almond butter with my apples. You put that, get in the jar. I would just sit at the TV and just have my jar with my apples. Oh yes, chocolate chip cookies. Yeah, chocolate chip cookies at the DoubleTree Hotel. Yes, indeed. Okay, guys. It was so good to hang out with you on this wonderful Tip Tuesday. I hope you had some fun. I hope you enjoyed this time together. Okay, I will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow is our Wisdom Wednesday, and I will see you. That's it. Again, if you want to support, again, I put that on there, Patreon. You can go to my patreon.com if you want to support, and also you can find most of this stuff on Patreon. So you can do that as well. So all the articles, all the lessons, everything I put up pretty much online is on my Patreon page for the Patreon folks. Okay. Hey, Mimi, I see you, Mimi. And Paro says beautiful. Okay, guys, we're out of here. Thank you for joining me today. I'm getting used to this little click out here. I'm going to click right here and we are out of here. Wait. Am I making sense here? Oh, that's right. Here we go. See you later.